The print barcodes from purchase orders feature is located underneath the purchase orders module, and the menu option is print barcode labels for purchase orders. This particular feature is designed so that as goods come in to your warehouse or into your loading dock or however you receive them, you can print barcode labels for any of the products that do not come with a barcode label on them. Typically what you would do is you would open up the packing slip or however you handle it, and you would enter in the purchase order number to indicate what goods we're receiving and that you want to print labels for. I'm just going to hit F4 and scroll down and choose PO number 1019, Acme Importers. And this is actually feeding into the same screen as your purchase order received screen, although it's not designed to have somebody actually receive the purchase order. The thought is that if it's a warehouse person, you probably don't want them to receive it. You probably want some office personnel to receive it, but they can still enter in the quantities that they've received. In this case, the first item is received in full. The second item, STPL 103, let's say we received all 144. Now, the way that this works is that when you put in the quantity that you received and you save it by either hitting Shift Enter or going down one, the system will automatically print all of the labels for this particular item, providing the print labels option is set to individual. Again, the idea there being that if you have a whole bunch of products you're receiving all at once, let's say in this case we have 144 plus 24 plus 12 plus 100, that's over 200 labels. If you don't want them to all spit out at once, then you would do them individually, and then you could also apply the labels to the product as they are being printed. In this case, it did not print it because we have the print checkbox is unchecked because this product happens to already have a barcode label on it already. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this one too doesn't have it. Now, let's say if it's supposed to have it, I can just go ahead and click this. And now that I turned it on, the system says that I've changed the value of it. Would I like to keep this as the default? I can say yes. And what that basically does is underneath the inventory control module, underneath inventory maintenance, you'll see that you have an option that says print barcode, and that option feeds into this option. So we'll just click on that and let's take a look. So here it says print barcode. That, whether or not this is set, this is the default for whether or not to print the barcode in the other screen. And if you change it over here, and when it asks you do you want to change the default, that's where it's changing it, in the inventory maintenance screen. Okay, so now the next item, let's say received all 12. This one is already set to print. I can go ahead and save it by hitting the down arrow or Shift Enter. The system then sees that this guy is set to be printed, and it will automatically print the barcode labels for you. Now, if you have not set up your barcode label printer and created your custom form for the barcode label, you should view the video for print inventory barcode labels located underneath the inventory control module. Excuse me, folks. Located underneath the inventory control module. And that does explain how to create the custom form for your label and how to properly set that up. Alright, so that went ahead and printed that. And of course I can go ahead and indicate we have 100 here, and it would also print those. One other point to make out is that the default down here for print labels, all or individual. That is dictated by the system setup option underneath the inventory, underneath purchase orders, I believe. Let's just take a peek to see where that is. And this really is going to depend upon your own company and your own circumstances. But if we click on the Purchase AP and PO Defaults tab, over to the bottom right over here, you'll see that there is a section for defaults for purchase orders. So we have print price, that's whether or not it prints the price on the label, and then here, barcode labels default, print individual or print all. So how you have that set in that screen is going to dictate how your default is going to be on this screen. And again, if you print all, what will happen is and we just have to wait for the system. It's particularly slow this morning. And what will happen is you'll have an option to print all the labels once you're done entering all the quantities. And if you want to reprint a label, it knows whether or not you're on one that had already been printed. Like, say, for example, your printer got jammed. What you would do is you would just go ahead over here, you would click reprint label, and then you can indicate how many labels you want to reprint, because it does know that it was printed. If I went over here on this guy, that reprint label box disappears because it knows we did not print any yet. And we can just exit out of here. We're all done. And that concludes the print barcode labels from the purchase order receive feature.